The Middle of the Pack podcast. My legs are kind of hopping, but it's in a nice way. They've got a sign on the wall saying today is going to be a good day, and it certainly is a good day for the muscles in the leg. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Middle of the Pack podcast, and today we are coming from the recovery room. As you know, Dublin Marathon was completed, and I was on a recovery week last week, so took the opportunity to head to the recovery room in Ballincollig, and this week we'll be speaking to Jerry and his team all about the benefits of a good and proper recovery. So sit back and relax and enjoy episode 14 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. So this is an unusual episode, really. It's not as such an interview, although we are chatting with Jerry Lynch from the recovery room. But it is an opportunity I took to visit the recovery room in Ballincollig in Cork, if you're listening to outside the county or listening in a different country. And I'm sure they have these facilities in numerous other places. But we stepped into the NormaTec recovery boots, and this was my reaction, having had them on for a couple of minutes. It was really, really satisfying. So we're just sitting here in the recovery room in Ballincollig, and I really wish I had these compression boots that I'm wearing on the night of the marathon. It is like so in one way relaxing, and in other ways fairly intense. So if I grimace, it's because these boots are just suddenly going to the highest pressure point. But it is such an experience. It's just brilliant. My legs are kind of hopping, but it's in a nice way. They've got a sign on the wall saying today is going to be a good day, and it certainly is a good day for the muscles in the leg. And I had never used recovery boots before, and I had never been in a sauna before, actually. So the whole experience was a first-time experience for me, and I was kind of wondering, what are the benefits of these recovery boots? And I know it was the Wednesday when I booked the appointment. And, probably if I had done it the day after I arrived back or the day of the marathon, it would have been brilliant. But for those of you, and I'm no expert, so I've asked Jerry Lynch, who is the guy behind the recovery room, I've asked him what were the benefits of the compression boots. And this is Jerry Lynch talking to us from the recovery room in Ballincollig, Cork.
Yeah, that's a common question that we get, actually, the benefits of the compression boots and what's involved with them. And it's often like thinking about how long is a piece of string, and that like the real benefits, kind of the list of those guys go on and go on and go on. But I suppose what I can tell you is that our boots are NormaTec boots. They're market leaders, and there's a few other options on the market. But yeah, we didn't hold back any expense trying to get we made sure we got the best compression boots on the market. As I said, that crowd, NormaTec are market leaders. So we're really pleased to offer those to our customers. And even if you're on the NormaTec website, or I saw it long ago, maybe their social media, but they kind of put it out there that their top kind of bullet point, like the real main benefit is improved circulation. And they also kind of go on to suggest then that like using the compression boots or using them regularly, let's say, kind of mimics the effects and really the positive benefits of like your active recovery or your sports massage. No, you could argue you won't come away with the exact same benefit or the same level of benefit, but you will come home or come away with, with the same benefit to some extent, like, which is really good. And then, as I say, like if you dig a little bit deeper, then the list goes on in terms of benefits from using the boots. I suppose you're looking at like improved blood circulation. As I mentioned, that seems to be like the top of the list in any conversation, about the benefits. And in doing so, then the boots actually flush out metabolic waste, so like your lactic acid, your lactate, and it's huge for that. In general, it should promote less soreness and kind of less fatigue, as well as muscle relaxation, general pain relief. We actually have a lot of clients in that come from not quite a medical background, but like they're coming into us looking for assistance or looking for support with medical issues rather than just performance, which has been a bit of an eye-opener, actually. It's very interesting. And more than once, actually, customers have come into us and their GP has suggested or has advised them to maybe try and get into both the boots and the sauna. So that's been very interesting, bit of a learning. Because like even when I opened, I thought, or at least I had in my head, it'll all be sport related, performance related. So not necessarily, yeah. So it's been a good learning.
So about a minute and 30 seconds left of my compression boots. I've never had compression boots on before, but I have to say they are a game changer. I absolutely love them. My legs are loving them. My muscles are so thankful. It is absolutely brilliant. So on we go to the sauna next. That'll be interesting because I've never done a sauna either, believe it or not. So yeah, looking forward to that for sure. So the sauna has started. We're in the now 30-minute sauna session. Like I said earlier, I've never been in the sauna, so it's slightly weird. Lydia was asking if we wanted to do kind of hot and cold, where we'd have the sauna and then have a cold shower. But the memories of being at the start line in Dublin and being so cold, and then at the finish line in Dublin and being even colder, the thought of going from heat into cold just didn't appeal to me on this particular day. And having just had super relaxing time in the compression boots and now sitting in this beautiful heat and just enjoying it all, taking it all in. So I don't think I'll be taking the cold shower option, but it is there if you ever think about doing kind of alternative, going from hot to cold kind of thing. Nice facility to have, but I'm definitely just going to sit here and enjoy the sauna. And enjoy the sauna, I certainly did. And believe it or not, I did before the end of the sauna session, I did nip out. It's in the adjoining room and had a chill in the shower and then, finished off in the heat again. And it was brilliant. And it just was fabulous after the compression boost, which kind of relaxed because you're 30 minutes just lying there in the kind of calming music and then into the sauna just to flush everything else out. It was just fabulous. I did visit it with my daughter. I should have said Rihanna, she would go be a regular attendant at gyms and things. So she really felt the benefits as well and enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to ask Jerry next about the benefits of the sauna, but he mentions the fact that it is good for your skin as well as being good for your muscles and your blood flow. But I know she found that benefit too. So here is Jerry again telling us the benefits of the infrared sauna.
Oh, we're really pleased with the infrared sauna. It's a brilliant product, actually. We had fantastic feedback from it. I hope you enjoyed it for your session. And the primary benefit here, I suppose, with the sauna is a detox, as is the case with most saunas, be it the traditional one or the infrared. But even in my research, in terms of just learning a bit more about it early days and what product to go with, I had come across a thing where studies had shown before that the infrared heat actually penetrates a bit deeper into the skin. So some studies show kind of 1 to 1.5 inches deeper and gets right into the nitty gritty of like that of your skin and kind of promotes a much better, deeper and almost more intrusive detox, which is a very good thing. And when I say more intrusive, it's no different in feeling from the traditional sauna, but to know that it's getting a bit stuck in a bit deeper is great, And again, then I think kind of after that, both the traditional saunas and the infrared saunas share a lot of kind of regular and general benefits. They can aid, I suppose, your cardiovascular health. They're huge for cardiovascular health. Again, we have a lot of customers coming in and it's more medical issues than kind of performance-based background. And they're really impressed with the sauna. And as I touched on there at the start, like general stress reduction, general and kind of genuine relaxation, pain relief, muscle recovery. Yeah, it promotes and enhances a lot of those things. It's very good for skin health, as I mentioned, your immune function. So again, the list goes on, but yeah, it's a really great product, very comfortable. It gets nice and hot in there. I'm sure you witnessed that and can testify to that yourself. But that's all controllable by the user, by the customer, and we run through all of that with the customer before they come in and all the rest of it. But yeah, the infrared sauna, as I say, now it was very interesting. Again, we've had people come in with both first timers, but equally those that we end up chatting to that have experience with traditional saunas, and a good few have mentioned that their vote of confidence will go to the infrared. So yeah, really great product, and we're delighted to have it here in the recovery room as well.
So when did you open? How long have you been here? Because I had heard of you, obviously, prior to that. I'd seen some of your Instagram posts, but it seemed that there wasn't a big hoo-ha until you messaged me around the time of the Cork Marathon. So yeah, around what time did you open?
So we opened in June of this year, 2025. Earlier on in the year, I had actually put the little unit or the little space out to tender. I thought it might be suitable for a physio or massage or some other service, but there was one or two bites, but nothing really came of that. So I said, you know what, we'll do something with it ourselves. So a client of mine actually owned a pair of the compression boots, which I borrowed a few times, especially pre and post runs and events and stuff, and found them really, really good. So I just figured we'd do something with the little space ourselves. And so I probably took the majority of the first half of this year when I got a spare bit of time around my primary job to put it together. And then towards the end of late May, maybe into June, we shared the plans with the world, as they say. And then, yeah, it's been kind of a soft launch, I suppose, as people say. We just put it out there. We got friends and family and coaching and personal training clients of ours to try it. And yeah, even to this day, as well as it's going, we're still kind of just taking our time with it. So yeah, we kind of, as I say, got our first customers and clients and the rest of it in June of this year. And it's been going great.
It still seems very low key, and even as you're driving up, you're not still shouting about the recovery room. Obviously you're just easing into the whole thing. But if I did want to go back and book another session, or if any of the listeners out there are inspired and going, jeepers, I really want to take the benefit of these boots, or try out a sauna, or try out both, how would one go about booking in, and how would one contact you to book a session?
So for the minute, as I said earlier, we're kind of soft launching or just finding your feet with it or testing the waters, let's say. And so, yeah, we've gone kind of traditional, I suppose, with means of contacting us or means of making a booking. And they're very straightforward. So on Instagram, where the recovery room _TRR is our handle on Instagram. By phone, so text or phone call, I suppose, 083 335 2939. Or by email, you'll find us at therecoveryroom@gmail.com. So yeah, social media, by phone or by email.
And obviously, as you know, we are a runners podcast, but I'm sure it's not just runners would book in. But when is the best time to do a session? And I don't mean time of the day now. I mean, is it best to do it directly after a run or a gym session, or is it one of these things that you should wait a couple of days till the DOMs set in? I did it on the Wednesday after the marathon. But what would be the ultimate or the best time to book a session?
That's a very good question. And there's probably an argument for any time of the day or any day of the week. But what I would say for anyone listening and for anyone interested in their recovery, coming maybe from a general physical recovery point, is that after your workout or after your output, like your performance, your run, your training, your gym session, if you can get in within maybe 2 to 3 hours of that, again, if schedules go against you or availability goes against you, no matter where you're using these facilities, like certainly like the next day, but all going well, if you are kind of, if schedules allow it, and for a very, if you can be as organized as you can, you'll be hoping to get your session done. And then within, the same evening or same afternoon, whatever, within a few hours to try and get in and get your physical recovery done in terms of the boots and the sauna. And then there's another side to it, of course, as well. Like, we have customers coming in just for general mental health and headspace, for stress relief, general relaxation. As I say, I hope you experience the same now, but I put the place together as best I could to encourage people to, unplug, unwind, relax, switch off, even take a nap in there if you need to, if you can. Do you know, so it's been very interesting because we've drawn in customers and clients and interests from all walks of life for all different reasons, and yet the same services provide, good options for people. So I suppose if you're thinking about coming in and stress relief or a relaxation or even assistance to your sleep is your goal, you are pushing it to the evenings. And we actually do okay in the evenings. We've a good few bookings come in, between say 7 and 9, let's say. And again, that's some people that's their only gap in the day. That's totally fair. That's brilliant. But one or two have definitely come in, and the idea was to, almost to come down from a very busy day ahead of their sleep routine and ahead of what would hopefully be a good night's sleep. And the weekend is a good option. I know you're probably thinking about how soon after a training session should I get in, but in a general overview, people are very, very busy professionally and from their output, their training, their performance, Monday to Friday, maybe even a game or whatever, a race, a run on a Saturday. So the weekend is a good time then to book it in as well. And when your week's output is done, finish off your week then with a recovery session.
So I suppose for me, ultimately, if I'm doing a long run on a Sunday, it might be good, on Monday to book in for a session. But I suppose if I'm running every day of the week, it's difficult enough to pick a day. But I just know, even from being on the Wednesday after the marathon, even as I left the sauna, so I had 30 minutes in the compression boots, 30 minutes in the sauna, and even as I went to walk out to Lydia, so I should have said that at the beginning of the show as well. Lydia was there to help us and show us around as Jerry was off on another client. I was saying to her, I could feel the benefit in my calves. Everything just felt lighter and looser. So definitely the benefits were almost immediate, which is brilliant. But then obviously after a marathon, the legs would be very, very tired. So yeah, I enjoyed it. But I was very impressed with the setup in the room. It's very relaxed and it's very relaxing. But then I was very impressed also to see the gym out there. So, like, what other services do you offer?
The recovery room itself is very straightforward. So we have the compression boots. We've 2 pairs of compression boots and then a 2-person infrared sauna. And as I think I mentioned earlier, one of our unique selling points as well, or something that's quite niche about us, is that all our bookings, as I say, a maximum of 2 people, but all bookings are private bookings. So, for example, Patrick, if you're coming in, you have your booking, but if it is for 2 people, you're bringing a friend or a client or a family member or a training partner, or else it's just you, you know what I mean? So for anyone thinking about coming in and unsure about that, if there are to be 2 people, it's you and someone you know, or else you yourself. So to answer that question, the recovery room is very straightforward. 2 kind of very obvious services, the compression boots and the sauna. And then you can just do one. You don't have to come in and use both. But what's probably most, the approach that's taken by most people to date anyway, is they might do maybe 30 minutes in the compression boots and then 30 minutes in the sauna. So our sessions are just €25 and our 30-minute sessions are €15. So either 30 minutes and 60 minutes and then €15 or €25, which we think is very good value. And feedback, has been great to kind of match that as well. So we're happy enough with that. And then I know you popped across the hall then. So the recovery room is just kind of one room to your right as we're on a first floor building, or on the first floor of our building. And then to the left, which is kind of my 9 to 5 or my kind of career, I suppose, my main job, we have a fairly large and relatively impressive private personal training centre there as well. And we're at that for years and years and years. So yeah, our kind of niche there, I suppose, is that very different to your public gyms. I always say it in a nutshell, it's just like your GP visit. In the same way you wouldn't share your GP visit with anybody, we take the same approach. So it's very genuine and sincere private personal training. There's a team of 5 or 6 of us there, but there's only ever one coach on per shift. And so when we say private personal training, we really mean it. Bar kind of meeting someone at the entrance or the exit, on the way in or way out, when you come in, all the equipment, and it's fairly well equipped. It's a fine big space spanning over 2,000 square foot. Plus, very importantly, your coach's attention is completely yours. So that's what kind of we believe sets us apart It's not 1-on-2, it's not 1-on-3, it's not small group. It's certainly not. We don't offer memberships. It's all personal training and all private personal training at that. So yeah, so under the one roof, we have the recovery room on one side, and we can really assist and support you through your physical goals as well, or your performance goals, strength and conditioning, all that stuff on the other side. The building itself then is located, so we're inside Ballincollig Commercial Park, just in off the Link Road in Ballincollig. I was saying that earlier, there's a small bit of an issue with air codes and all the rest of it because we're sharing the building with another business, but most people are familiar with Boxed Coffee, big yellow box there, just at the entrance to that industrial estate. Excuse me. And so if you come in off the Link Road in Ballincollig, where you might turn right to go in to get your coffee, you just take the immediate left. And if you fly right in around the building then, and towards the back of the building, you'll see us there. As I say, the personal training aspect of the building is signposted, so that they're the signs you're looking for, and then straight in the door, up the stairs, turning right for the recovery room and turning left for Jerry Lynch personal training.
That's fantastic, and it's great. You know, I love small independent businesses that grow. Obviously, I'm a retailer myself and come from a family of retailing, and it can be difficult enough to survive. And we often do rely on the local community, local groups to really support. You know, and I think too often the big guns out there, even when you look at coffee shops and things like that, you know, people love to go to the well-established American large retailers, coffee shops, when sometimes you'll get a far better service, a far more attentive service, far more, I suppose, almost the expertise from a smaller service can be better than what you'd get in an almost faceless larger operation. That's not to say that you can't get good service in all those places as well, but I do think it's great. I do think it's great to support local, to support your local retailers, to support your local coffee shops, to support your local gyms and training places. That's why I think it's important, and that's why I jumped at the chance to do a podcast from here, hoping that it would help grow the recovery room. But how has it all been? How has it been going since you opened in June? Has it been a good response?
Business is good, thank you. Yeah, I suppose on the personal training side, we're open 8.5 years now. We opened in May 2017. So we're going very well. Yeah, I'll be very keen now to get to the 10-year mark and see where we go then, you know. But yeah, so we've a place in Ballincollig and we've a place over in Clero as well, just on the third direction there before Blarney. So business is really good from that point of view. Yeah, I think privacy is very important to people, I suppose, in a social media driven world, and where your public gyms are so busy and all the rest of it. Like, there's such a large proportion of society that still have, you know, no interest in one, in that public setting, and two, in, you know, becoming quite vulnerable in that public setting, although they may be incorrect. But you can't just switch off a feeling where everyone's looking at me or that kind of thing, you know. So yeah, I think people's privacy is really, really important to them. And as I said earlier, then when we're quite unique in how private and how genuine the offering is and the services, you know, it's been great for people. We've really offered a kind of a safe space and to certain clientele, and then there's people who train really well and have been members of plenty gyms and they have no bother. But equally, then we're trying anyway to build up a pretty good reputation over the years and all the rest of it. So yeah, personal training side of things is going great. Really enjoying it. Yeah, it's always a very rewarding work. And recovery room is off to a good start. Yeah, as I say, we've only kicked off since June, and it's been great. It's kind of drawn in some customers and some people you'd expect, which was fantastic. They're fantastic chats, and loads of people have great experiences, different sports and different achievements and different goals, which I'm all for. I absolutely love it. I'd stay talking about it all day. And then other walks of life, younger customers, older customers, different medical issues on board, or overcome different medical issues and now trying to push on again, and able to meet those people, chat to them, and offer them some sort of support in their on their journey for a better word is brilliant. So yeah, hopefully now more of the same. We'll see out the year nice and strong, and hopefully kick off 2026 then, building on what we have so far, you know.
Brilliant. It certainly was a great experience for me. As I said, I had never used the compression boots. I had never been in a sauna, and I've been to many like running weekends, trips away, hotels, resorts, and I know my wife certainly likes going to saunas. I've always thought that it would just be almost claustrophobic, but it certainly had a different feel. And I know it was great to have Lydia from the team. And I did record some chats with her, but unfortunately I had her holding the mic and a lot of the ruffling was just, we couldn't use some of the recordings that we made on the day itself. But thanks to Jerry Lynch for coming and joining with me and answering the questions about the recovery room and basically personal training, the recovery process and the services that they offer there. So you can look at their social media platforms to see how to book a session for yourself. And if you're living in another city other than Cork, which I know a lot of you are looking at our listening figures, I'm sure if you just Google recovery sessions, Google saunas, Google compression boots, you'll see if there are any services like that in your area. I know they're available for purchase as well, but I think it's always good to try these things before you commit to a fairly big financial outlay. So it's been a different episode this week, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. I know I certainly have, and I definitely enjoyed the whole recovery process. So thanks to Jerry Lynch, Lydia and the team at Jerry Lynch Personal Training. But for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.